How's it going, everyone? This is MOS-TRIXX, and I decided I wanted to conduct an experiment to see just how good I can get an absolutely brand new player at Rushdown Revolt. I put a message in the Discord basically asking for the newest player possible who wants to learn how to play Velora. And I ended up finding someone who was not only brand new to Velora, but also brand new to Rushdown Revolt, only having 2.1 hours in the game. I'm going to be tracking their progress and having coaching sessions with them weekly to see if we can get them good enough to take a set in a tournament. Keep in mind this is a brand new player starting from absolute scratch. And if you yourself are brand new to Rushdown Revolt and you're interested in learning, then I recommend subscribing to the channel and following along with this student's journey. With all that being said, these are some highlights from our very first session of coaching a brand new player.
How do I find you?
So to find me, you're going to click on Fight. Right on the main menu, go to Fight, then you're going to go to Custom on the far right. Okay?
Alright.
And then from there, you're going to copy and paste that number that I gave to you in Discord into the top search bar at the top. Just to start out, like how I normally do with anybody else, I just want to play against you and just see what you can and can't do. Okay, so I don't really care how good you are. It's just a question of basically an assessment, if anything.
Yeah, I get you. See if you'll see just how shit I am, and we'll figure out where to go from there.
I believe in you, bro. If you get a spark rate of over 25, then we're vibing. Okay. Oh, not like this.
I missed. I lost track
good.
of who I was.
I mean, technically, I only got one kill that game.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's all good. All right. So let me see really quick. So the first things first that I would say is that I want to work on is going to be, obviously neutral is going to be one thing. That's just going to be a recurring theme throughout the rest of time, basically. You can never have a neutral that's too good. So neutral is going to be the first thing. Whiff punishing or bait and punish / footsies. So getting in and out of someone's burst range and trying to bait them. Because I saw a lot of jabs coming out, a lot of forward tilts coming out. There's nothing wrong with using those moves. It's just using them in rapid succession, hoping that I'm going to just run into them. So you can fix that up for sure. After your jab, quite a few times you're throwing out your neutral special. This is a frame data thing. If you don't know, your jab will never combo into your neutral special. It's not fast enough. Or it doesn't have enough hit stun on jab 2 to go into neutral special. If you want a side special, that works. So that's like an information thing. We'll keep going. The biggest thing for sure is, of course, combo games also want to be like neutral, where you can almost never have too good of a combo game. But before we even get into combos, I want to talk more about landing your moves and having a bit better spacing with your movement. We don't have to fight just yet, but what's going to happen? So let's say if we're in neutral here, if I'm trying to push up on you, if I want to try and hit you with, like, let's say my go-to is either going to be jab or forward tilt. Okay, and in the case of like high level or top level play, it's going to be the same moves for her. Sometimes she can jump in, let's say she comes with like a back air like this, or she might go for a down tilt, but it's going to typically be jab or forward tilt. Okay, so the fact that you're already gravitating towards those moves, a lot of players will not use jab that much because in most cases they don't know. In most games, jab doesn't really combo like that, but for this game, it really does. So using jab is just fine.
That much I just listened to you, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna say jab is honestly great. It's a huge move. I think it's frame 5 as well, so pretty fast, and it does combo.
Okay, I don't know a ton about terms.
So frame 5 just means it comes out. Since the game is measured in frames, 60 frames a second. Yeah, so it's the 5th frame. So it's not super important. Just know that that's pretty fast. The fastest moves in the game are frame 4, and you have a frame 5 jab. So as far as your neutral, when you're trying to get in on somebody, just like in real life, let's say if we were playing basketball, if I was to try and cross you up, and let's say I wanted to cross you up from the other side of the basketball court and like try and, as they say, break your ankles or get you to fall over or any of those things, if I try and do this over here, you're never going to fall for anything, right? I'm too far away. But if I'm up in your face and I do it like this, you might try and parry, you might shield, you might jump, you might try and hit me because of my proximity.
How do you parry? Which is parry?
So parrying is holding shield and then pressing down.
Well, that's...
Okay, so hold shield, press down. I believe in you, bro.
Okay.
You don't have to do it in that order. If you do it at the same time, it basically comes out right away, right?
Oh, okay. Cool.
Or if you're holding down and you press shield, you can also parry like that too.
Okay.
Right? In the heat of the game, you'll probably not ever be like holding down and then anticipating it like that. But if you know for a fact you want to go for a read, and that's how you want to do it, then you can parry like that. Right?
Also, I can just teabag, you know.
Also, you can just teabag. So there is that. But if you want to, let's say, parry a multi-hit move, you can just hold down and tap shield over and over again. Versus having to like press down and shield over and over again. Okay? So that's just like a quick, easy tip for that. So going back to the idea of when you're trying to get in on somebody and actually hit them, your whole real, I guess, objective with this character is to whiff punish them, or bait and punish. So get into somebody's space, have them overextend and potentially miss. You want them to miss, obviously. And then coming back in with your big whiff punishing moves, like forward tilt, jab, or your side special. Okay?
That side special is fun.
And I was going to say on the counter side of it, or on the flip side of it, with your side special, or realistically any of your attacks, if you just go ahead and throw it out and hope for the best, let's say if we're just dashing back and forth, let's do this to try and hit you, it might work, but against a better player who is baiting that, they're going to stand at that like almost max range, so you believe you can hit it, and as soon as you throw it out, they just move out of the way, and then they're going to punish you.
Fair.
Okay? So this is not a way of approaching. This is a way to punish someone who's made a mistake. So let's say I run up to you, and let's say you're in shield, and they say I hit your shield like this, right? I'll go like that, and I like burst away or spark away from you. If I spark away from you, if you try and like grab me because you didn't know that I was going to do that, then I could side special right there. Let's say you try and go for like an up tilt or something, I can side special right there, right? And there's lots of layers to it as well. So it's not super free for me to just like assume you're going to let me do that every single time. But that is a way of baiting something out of shield and then punishing it with side special. Another way that another thing about this game that you have to pay attention to or just take into consideration is that when you are playing in your neutral, getting singular hits in this game, it's not very strong to just like only get a jab or only get a forward tilt unless your combo game is very strong. It's extremely, I think the word is like it's extremely rich as far as how important it is to get a single hit and convert off of it. So rather than throw out tons of attacks and just say, okay, I'll hit him 10 times eventually, you're better off getting that one very patient hit and then turning it into 10 hits.
It's wait for a chance to actually get the string in. Don't just go for chip.
Yeah. So when the game is going very fast paced, it feels like, okay, well, if I'm just waiting for a huge opening and a huge mistake, if the opponent doesn't ever make a mistake, then it feels like, okay, I'm just going to do nothing forever then. In which cases, that's where like getting close to someone and making them make a mistake comes into play. So dancing in somebody's face and getting them to like throw out a parry or jump or do something. Once that happens, I can come down and then try and hit you, or come down and then go for like a dash grab or something. Right?
Gotcha.
So it's bursts of patience followed by bursts of extreme aggression and combos. All right, let's fight this one out. And I don't really care what your combo game looks like because we haven't really talked about it a ton, but just try to not have this situation happen where you do this like 3 times in a row, right?
Nope, what did that the wrong direction?
It's all good.
There's the old blender.
Yep. That's the thing about this game too, is you got to take your time to get warmed up for sure. I feel like my first game on is always extremely rusty, and then you kind of get back into it again, and then once you feel warm and comfortable, then you're pretty fine. Also notice that side special you threw out, and I just kind of punished it with a 3 or 4 hit combo, right? So another thing with your character as well too, is when you're trying to recover, you have a lot of aerials that'll help you, right? Like if you charge your nair, you can recover with that as well. Charging nair is just holding A and then pressing your direction. So when I'm last hit, this is when the gun could be coming out, right?
What's up?
I said if I'm last hit like that, you can try and shoot me while I'm off stage because I can't really stop you. I can try and get around it. Right there, you want to try and break that autopilot as far as going jab, jab into neutral B. What I'd much rather see you go for is jab, jab into side special or jab, jab into spark forward down air. Okay? Oh, not like this. Unless. So also in the situation there, if you have your burst, you can use your burst and then you get another rush back and you can get another wall jump back.
Yeah, I'm very bad at figuring out the wall jumps.
So the way that you wall jump in this game is you actually press jump while scaling or sliding down the wall, versus in most like Smash, for Smash you have to push away with the control stick, right? So when you're going for a combo, so let's not fight just yet, okay? When you're going for your combo, something that you can practice that's pretty straightforward and it's a decent combo would be just going jab, jab. This is going to be very, very simple, okay? So it's jab, jab into side special. And as soon as your second jab connects, you can go for your side special and it will spark you out of it. Okay? So what I mean...
Okay, can you explain what spark you out of it means in that case?
So right now we both have spark. Okay? And the way that you know this is you can, if you turn around actually, so just face to the right. So right now you can see that your eyes are glowing. I think there's that little bit
noticed that.
Yeah, a little bit of like energy coming out of your eyes. But also our health bars have electricity around them.
Okay.
right? So if you just use your rush button, this is a rush, right? But if you go for an attack and then you press rush right after, it will cancel that attack by using your spark.
Okay.
So I will say the terminology is a little bit confusing, but there's no such thing as like a spark button and a rush button. All it means is think of it as a attack canceling move. You're canceling the end your end leg of your attack by using a resource. For example, I'll show you with like a bigger move. So if I have like my up tilt, right? That's it if I don't use my spark. But if I spark, then you see that little blue circle that comes out, and I put my hand down and the move gets canceled quicker, which means I have freedom to move around, jump, or follow up on the combo.
And a faster cool. It basically just kills the cooldown.
Yeah.
Just a micro speed.
Yeah. So that's one of those things too. The way the game works is if I go for, let's say, if I hit you with something and I get my spark, if I hit you with like I'll say forward strike, and I go for a spark and then forward strike or up strike in that case again, if I hit you again and I'm successful with my continuous hits, I keep on getting my spark back. Notice that I still have it right now.
Yeah. So
Right.
once you get a hit in, you get spark back.
Yeah. So if I never mess up, I will always have spark, which means I can basically carry you into the blast zone from anywhere. Every character can do this too. With that being said, you do have some defensive mechanics that we haven't really talked about yet because the situation hasn't really come up. But if you are getting, let's say, 0 to death truly, then you can burst to get out of combos. You can only do that once per stock though, and you can't get it back unless you die.
How do you activate burst anyway?
So burst is your shield button and your rush button at the same time.
Okay.
So you can't do it when you're standing on the ground. You have to be in the air or in hit stun. And yeah, that's the blue circle that comes out. I think it comes out frame 1 invincibility, frame 2 hitbox. Either way, it stops the opponent completely from whatever they're doing, and it sends them away from you.
And it does a little bit of damage.
No, it actually does 0 damage.
0 damage.
Yes. So you can't kill somebody with it.
That would be so funny.
And honestly, if it did any damage at all, I think it would probably do like 1 if it did any damage, because you can always do it. That is a move I would say you really want to try and tame a lot. And what I mean by tame is if you get hit once, don't just instantly burst to get someone off of you and they just jabbed you. Right? If I'm doing like this, a lot of new players will instantly burst because they don't want to see what's about to happen. When realistically, even if I'm like, let's say, a mid-level player or even like a high-level player that could do 80 or 100 damage and just not mess up, you're still better off not wasting your burst and taking that 100 damage and trying to DI out of the combo. You're still better off doing that. And the reason is because if you just, let's say I hit you like 2 times right here, then you burst immediately. After that, I can just carry you off stage. I'll go like forward tilt, and then I'll jump and chase you, go like that, into that, and you're just dead. There's nothing you can do because you don't have burst.
Gotcha.
Right? So I can kill you much earlier. So yes, you stopped a combo that would have been maybe, let's just say an average combo that's pretty good is like 40. You maybe stop me from getting 40 damage on you, but now you have the potential to die in green band or possibly yellow band. So it's not worth doing early.
Gotcha. Because unless you've already carried... So basically, if you're already carrying me off stage and it's already starting to look really bad, just... It's not a bad plan to hit it. Just hit it after you're already...
If you're already like way out here, for example, and like let's say I'm about to kill you, then yes, you burst way out there so you don't die. Or let's say you're way up at the top of the screen like this, and you burst way up here to not die off the top. But if I hit you like that and you just burst instantly, then yeah, it's not worth doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's continue on with the combo just really quickly. So what I want you to try doing is it's going to be jab, jab, side B. So yeah, exactly. Very straightforward. And I can say if you do side special and then you hit the attack button, you'll do like this little kick, which doesn't look very strong. But what it does is it gives you combo potential, whereas the other one just gives you stage position.
Gotcha. But the other one does do more damage.
It does do more damage, but your combo ends there. It turns into a tech chase or an offstage situation.
There's also a way to make it throw a bomb at you, but I don't know how to make that happen on a regular basis.
So that move for Velora, it's kind of a gimmick. I'm not going to lie. Not a lot of players go for it unless you're trying to like world star somebody. But all you do is you go for your side special, then you continue to hold special. If you don't know some things, I'm not going to say you'll never figure it out, but there's other characters that have much more complex things than her even. Right? Like using her EX moves, like with pressing attack and special at the same time in different directions and angles and stuff like that. So it gets pretty, I wouldn't say ultra complex, but if you don't know and you have no idea what you're looking for, then it feels like it's pure luck if you happen to find it again. With the side special, if you wanted to use the powder keg itself only does 2 damage. but it's meant to kill. So if you're going to use
Noted.
it, you want to use it in red band.
Fair enough.
So if I'm in red band and you want to try and kill me, you can throw it out. However, the hit can be DI'd, and also you can DI the keg.
I've noticed that.
So let's say if you were to do side special, and then in this situation here, I would, if I'm at the edge of the stage, maybe if I was trying to get away from you, I'd probably be DIing to the right. So if you were to do it, you do side special, hold special, and then hold right, right? Something like that. Right there, I actually didn't hold anything. I think you didn't DI either. Do you want to try it one more time, but hold to the right? Yeah. So right there, I got
so you can control what direction it goes in.
Yeah. So do it again. So you held left there.
That's really cool.
So it turns. So this is why it's a gimmick.
Hold right, it'll.
So right there, you gotta hold right a little sooner. That's all it was.
Okay.
There you go.
And that'll bonk onto you. Yeah. Okay.
So. It's strong, but it's a call out, which makes it kind of a gimmick because you have a 1 in 3 chance of being right.
Fair.
So if you miss it, it only does 2 damage. And if you miss
but if you hit.
And if you hit it and I'm in red, then I just die.
Yeah.
Right. So it's very high reward, moderately high risk because, well, it depends on the situation too. Because if you land it and you could win because of that, then it might be worth it. But if you miss it and you could lose because of that and just like instantly die because let's say your last hit and it's like a 50-50, like either you win or you lose right here, then I probably wouldn't go for that.
Just go for your usual. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So you want to have confidence in your combo game more so than relying on saying, oh, he's in red band, I'll just try and do this. And if I can cheese him, then it was worth it. Right? If you're miles up on someone and you want to try it, then that's fine. But if you're really sweating it out and it's very close, or you're trying to like even let's say make a comeback, I probably wouldn't go for it that often. And at a high level play, you basically never ever see it.
That was a mistake. Oh well.
I will say too, and we don't have to stop, but the way that Velora is played for the most part is you don't really want to rely on her specials too much. Like, her specials are decent, but her normals are really where it's at for her. I will say if you want to show the mark of a new player who's trying to transition into like mid-level player, that's the number one thing you want to try and get away from is spamming your side special to play neutral for you. So you can use it sometimes, right? Oh, this is awkward. This is still awkward. You can use it sometimes, right? But you don't want to rely on it to like just say dash back and forth and just throw it out and hope for the best, right? If you do like a back air like I just did, you're better off doing something like that. Or something else that we haven't talked about yet is sparking away after a hit.
Wait, what's that? Sorry.
The last thing we haven't talked about is sparking away after a hit. So hold your shield. Just shield. Yeah, so if I was to like go like this, oh, not like that, like that, and then spark away from you, my hit on shield now is safe. So hold shield again. I'll do it again. So like that. That makes it safe. But if I was to like, let's say, yeah, just stay holding shield. If I go like this, not like, although I can't hit you, if I go like that, that is not safe. Even though it looks like it is, it's actually not.
Because you hit that and then I can immediately pop in.
So here's the thing. If I were to do that hit and not spark, this is like a very low level thing to do. If I hit your shield and I don't spark, then you can punish that. As a better player, I should never do what I just did though. I should always think if I'm going to hit you, I'm either going to hit you wide open and actually do a combo, or if you get your shield up, I should be reacting to that or anticipating that I'm going to be too slow and I'm going to try and hit you and then get away from you. Or like hit your shield and then get away from you. If I happen to, let's say, run up on you, go for a forward strike, and I actually do hit you, but I spark away from you, then I might just have to try and cover your option afterwards. Let's say you DI away from me and I can't hit you. I'll just chase after and get underneath you if I can. Okay, so you want to try your best to react in this game as much as you possibly can versus autopilot or make all reads on your combos. If you just start comboing too fast, people can get out of stuff for free because you're just making mistakes. Also, as you can see, the side special has a very huge blind spot right up close. Okay, I've had to roll. Not like this.
Yeah.
I will say recovering when there's so many different resources to worry about, that's where you can fall apart and be like, okay, I don't know if I've used my jump or my rush or if I lost them during a combo or what. And then next thing you know,
jump rush also.
I'm
honestly like just having kind of a brain dumb because I keep thinking up is going to jump.
You can turn tap jump on if you want.
Yep. Okay, there you go.
It's all good. So obviously this is an obvious thing, but I would say, actually maybe this isn't obvious. In this game, you can up special without going into free fall, right? Which you may or may not have noticed, but if you're off stage and you're like, oh shit, I'm falling to my death, you can always up special first. If you're ever off stage and you're like, I don't know if I have my jump or anything, you can use your up special first. I will say you don't have to use your up special first every single time. Actually, I recommend that you don't do that, but if you aren't sure, then you can do that. So even though that kick doesn't feel like it's more useful than the strong hit of your side special, it genuinely is much better as far as what it can give you after, right? I will basically do that every single time just because I want to go for combos. So even if you're going for it and you completely like dropping combos afterwards, that's totally okay. I'd rather see you drop a combo versus autopiloting the strong hit every single time and not explore your combos. Not special. So in that situation, if you actually didn't have your rush or your jump, then you might have had to use your burst.
Fair enough.
Okay. Spark rate's going up too. I think the last time it was 4. Yeah, 15.
It's very likely something as bad, yeah.
No, you're getting better. Spark rate going up is good.
Okay.
So if you are genuinely, let's say, 2.5 hours into this game and you're at 15, that's not bad. If you can get to within a day or a couple of days, and we haven't done like any training room type stuff, but within a couple of days, if you can get above 30%, then you're getting to a point where you're actually doing combos. Right?
Above what percent?
30.
30. Okay.
So it's not that far away. Oops. Try to do something crazy.
Oh.
So when you're going up to me and trying to do like the teabag, are you trying to do something specific or just teabag? So when you get close to me, because he ran up to me, he's went like this, right? As far as teabagging, which is fine.
Oh.
I've had my fair share of students who try and sneak a teabag in, bro. I've been doing this for
Actually,
years.
I was completely. I was using the wrong trigger.
Yeah.
I was using the dash trigger and not the shield trigger.
Yeah. So you're trying to parry, is what you're trying to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a feeling you weren't actually trying to teabag, but if you were trying to do something specific, I know everyone technically is, but as far as if you're running up to me, and those are the types of things I want to be able to point out and say, okay, clearly, besides being completely disrespectful, of course, you did want to try and do something else.
Yeah, right? No, I was trying to parry.
Yeah. Okay. When you're practicing stuff in the training room, make sure that you turn on the frame data counter. It's in the settings. So like push pause, go into set, or like I think it's training mode settings specifically. Go down to frame data, turn that on, and then you can actually see how much hit stun your attacks have. So you can tell if you're doing things too fast.
Okay.
Also, make sure that you're changing the opponent's DI to DI out versus DI random, because the way that the bot is currently, if you have it set to DI random, the DI is also like frame perfect inputs when they do it on a computer, so their DI is insanely impossible to follow, or like basically impossible to follow. So you don't have to do that. Even like the best human player in the world does not do everything frame perfect from the first hit of every combo. It just never happens. So you're better off just setting it to DI out. I practice against either Erda or Zurong. Velora is actually pretty decent because she's like the Mario of this game as far as like fall speed and size. So she's just like an all-around middle character for that.
Okay.
All right, man.
Alrighty.
I think with that, we will call it a night. For sure, man. All right. I will talk to you later. Have a good rest of your night.
You too.
Right.
And thanks. This is really good.
For sure, man. No problem. Take care.